Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. The tier list has been updated, and you know what we like to do here? We like to let you know what we thought about it and then look at what they thought about it and see just how right we were and how wrong they might be.
It's payback time.
All right, now we're talking about the two new characters first, Nahor and Fuqiu.
Good job.
But we also have some other characters that I think should be moving up the tier list. Will they finally be putting RC77 where he belongs? Have they finally caught on to my girl, Ren the Unbowed? Let's find out here. Now, what we did talk about when the two new characters were released, and we'll touch on it here in the changelog, is I think Nahor probably looked like he was better on paper, but I think the other unit, Fuqiu, would be better overall for a lot of players. She looked a little boring, but I think there was a lot of power in her kit just with the amount of pushes that she does for your team, especially if you didn't have Lily on your account here. So let's see what they boil down to Nahor here. Basically, it's going to be he can strip and defense break. Let's see it. And the freeze for some of the things like Doki Doki, or not Doki Doki, and Nico Nana are probably in here too. PvE, we found success with Nahor in quite a specific niche where both hard crowd control and damage amplification are appreciated. In fights like Doki Doki, he can replace Kloss and Frey in traditional setups and bring somewhat comparable damage amplification with his defense break, and then provides that crowd control with the freeze like we talked about as well. You can also do something like Nico Nana in there. They call it Nico here. But yeah, Nahor is valuable in stealth stages with additional enemies like Nico Nana instead of Nico. I haven't tried him in... Actually, I don't own this character, so I haven't tried him at all. But I think he'd probably also be pretty good in something like a Shadow Hoyin, possibly out there, although I don't have Sanya to just dot him, but you could probably put him in there as well. He is slower though in PvP, and so I don't really think he fits that specific niche right now unless you're bringing like a full like control team. But they say in PvP, his control kit and speed isn't on the other levels like character like Miko or Mio, also like Kazura the Reverie, right? His main advantage is his buff removal. He is very slow in comparison to somebody like Ling, who can put up immunity, so it's gonna harm him there. But he does have buff removal for you. And honestly, literally, someone slow like Nahor in PvP, just cut all this nonsense out, stop the cap. The way that PvP is shaping up in Etheria right now is either you go really fast or you've been able to farm up enough that you can go like the tank down turn 2 style. And we'll touch on this probably with Fuqiu. She's also gonna be very good in PvP. I don't think quite yet though, unless you're already farmed up there, you're in the top, whatever, you know, where you guys can play tank down because you farmed up all the speed stuff. Now you've moved into farming Bloodbath and all that good tank down stuff with Viper on your team. She'll be good there for that reason as well. Let's see what they say about Fuqiu in PvE now. PvE, quite universal. I've been using her a lot. I actually have her max awakened. I haven't put anything in her abilities yet. She's 000 for me right now, and she still works out pretty well. Although I think you're gonna want to get the 12% push from her S3 eventually, because it's just very strong. Very useful in places that you would use Linglo or Sanya. Okay, well, also working quite well alongside either of them. Okay, they didn't mention that she brings speed buff to everybody yet, which is very, very strong, but we found her to be effective, a more offensive option than other healers in most game modes, which is interesting because I view her as a more like defensive Lily, right? You get speed to everyone else in your party gets hit, they push up instead of like Lily twin tricking somebody, going fast and pushing that one person over and over and over. You give the rest of your team speed buff. You build your Fuku fast, right? And then your team takes damage. They take extra turns. They start turn cycling faster with her little specific buff. You can throw on a lot of different stuff. You can throw on for a shell. Gigabyte helps, which is cool. You could also throw on something like Halloween, which is very easy to access early on. You can even like make her like super sustain for like shorter fights and just give her the little dragon of the Obsidian Codex, right? So she just doesn't use her S3. Cooldown the turn she uses it. So you just S3 into S3 if you want to, or S3, S2, S3, and just have that really nice sort of a barrier speed buff for like that one turn extra in some fights, which is very nice as well. If you're okay in trading some sustain and cleansing for speed and turn gauge boosting and can make up for elsewhere, she's a nice addition. Yes, very nice. Also, I was going to mention it, but they beat me to it. did not find her an effective 1-to-1 replacement for Valerian. Now I use them together and they're very good together still. You would think they wouldn't be because of the overlapping barriers and stuff, but I have like a faster Fuqiu. I have a faster one of those, and you know, I don't have the cooldown reduction on the S3 or anything like that. It's a very long cooldown, 5 turns, and she'll put up a big barrier. My people will take turns, the barrier will go down, and then I'll get the Valerian barrier. I'll have speed buff from her, and then Valerian will give like attack buff, and it works out very, very nice. And they just kind of like push around, and it's very good. I like it a lot. And she also, they don't name her here, but she works really well, like we said, with Doki Doki. Very strong with Doki Doki, because the two things that she's lacking as a character, the main one as a defensive character is cleansing debuffs. And Doki Doki can do that like crazy. So the two of them pushing people around and stuff, it's really, really wild out there. The only problem with putting them together in content, works in generic PvE, but there's different shell stuff. Like if you bring a hollow character, you take 900,000 damage, right? Like I wanted to try that out in Shadow Hoyon, those two together. And it's like, you can't bring Doki Doki to that. It's like, okay. So anytime you can't bring a constant character, you can't bring the duo. If you can't bring a hollow character, you can't bring the duo. Still an exceptionally powerful character though. I wouldn't be surprised if they put Nahor in like tier 1 for PvE and probably put Fuqiu in 0.5 probably. I don't think you put her in tier 0, but we'll see. Let's see what else they touched on here. Viper, yeah, we talked about Viper, and then that's the last one. So let's see. What do we got? Generic PvE. All of this makes sense up here. Yep. Sania, skip 30 levels of grinding, skip 30 player levels of grinding on your account. Yep. Vengeful Sword, Sania's there. These all make sense. I want to double down and say Yeli here. For generic PvE outside of like dot wind up, these 4 characters are all up here. They're all very strong. But if you had both Masya and Yeli and you were to ask me like, all right, between these 2 characters, which one should I fully invest in? I want to dump all my little cores into them. I want to dump all my tofu into one of these 2. 1000% Yeli. I have everything maxed out on Yeli except for like the extra buff steal final ability on her S1. And I use her literally everywhere unless it's you can't bring constant characters, right? Like I can't bring her on Shadow Form Hoyon or whatever because she just dies, right? But I would do that. She is that good. She is that universal. She lands defense break all of the time, even with 0 effectiveness. She's a fantastic character. These all make sense though. Viper's gotten moved up. Listen, he is, it's an odd one. Like you see him in the debuff role here in 0.5 and you're like, well, he just does like, he's got like a strip and attack down. That just doesn't really count. What they don't really talk about here is he's got that 30% crit damage reduction, which is huge. So if you're struggling on something, especially like if you're trying to farm up some tank down equipment, number 1, you need to have this guy leveled on your account because of the 30% damage reduction for PvP. If you're trying to play tank down in PvP, you don't have him in your party, you're probably not takedowning enough right now. But on top of that, he is very, very good in the what is it? The Threshold Aurora. He's God tier here because of the damage reduction, can strip the boss and attack break it all at the same time. So Viper is a fantastic character, and I wouldn't be surprised like if he got put up in tier 0. But it's weird because he's not like a debuff unit and he's not a control unit. He's like a mitigation debuffing unit. So he's kind of in his own little thing, and he's up there. He's one of the best characters in the game, and he's an SR character. And if you're going into Aurora, you can go check out on some of the clears. Don't check clear time, check out on recent ones, and you can see like something like 5-star Awakened Viper with like 5-star Bayotin, which we'll touch on in a second, and just like a DPS and something else, and they're farming up Aurora that way just because it's just that good. It's usually like, I think it's Viper, Bayotin, Linglo, and then like a Deeding or a DPS of your choice for that fight. Very easy to do. Now, other ones out here, Lily still tier -1 out here. Sustains are up here just like before. And then we have tier 0.5. We have the Fuqiu is in here. I'd be interested in seeing where they have her for some of the thresholds. She probably makes a Doki fight pretty safe. I haven't used her there. Mine's already kind of set up. I don't need another character for Doki, but I could go try her out. I won't say that I have, but I could go try her out. She seems like she would be very strong there, and it looks like this is pretty decent as well. Teramaton, she's probably usable. I don't think she does anything spectacular, but you can probably brute force some of the stuff with the mitigation and the pushing around. But her kit doesn't scream like she's insane in there, and it doesn't look like she's been relegated to insane status in something like Teramaton either. But for generic PvE, I've been using her just for fun, and she just seems to make my stuff really easy to do. And you know, like the hyperlink train event that goes to like the boss floor at 24, I threw her in there, and I think I had her like not even fully leveled up. I don't even think I was like level 1 out of 50. I think I was like maybe level 45, right? 5-star awakened, no abilities unlocked. And I used like her, Freya, Valerian, Lily, and Yeli, obviously. But she seemed like she was putting in a lot of work in the train event, and we full clear that thing every single time. And I'm not like god tier endgame gear yet. I still need to get some shells that won't drop. Okay, game. I don't know how much you want me to farm this game, man. I farmed all the way up to like, I literally haven't improved my gear, side tangent, from level 60 to like level 95. Farming terror, inferno shells or inferno modules. I haven't been able to get anything to drop. So I don't know, but she's been putting in work there, and we were able to full clear that event with her there. Control tier 0. Listen, we got to put Mio goes tier 0. Mio's better than Marvel. Mio's better than Vice, and a lot of stuff up here. This is a generic PvE list, but she gives speed buff. Honestly, put my boy Vice up there too. We've been preaching the Vice choir since before. I mean, before the game even came out, me and my friends in the Discord, in our Discord, if you were in there, which I don't link anymore. Maybe I'll start linking it. People were like, who's overpowered? And I was like, you know who's overpowered? And I just put a picture of Vice's face, and everybody thought I was memeing. And I was like, no, I actually have him leveled up. I've been using him in generic PvE stuff like Ember Trek, etc. And they're like, really? And I was like, yeah, he's insane. Crowd control, taunt, spamming, taunt, attack down, push back, heal your team. Crazy. You could, like we talked about last time, he could almost be in the sustain role. He can heal so much. He's a very good character. The rest of these, yep. We see Nahor out here in tier 1, and I want to check the PvP stuff real quick. Doki Doki down in tier 1 as well. Let's check the PvP stuff. Oh wait, my girl that way down here. This makes sense. The only thing I use Rin in, and let's see if they have it. They don't have something for Nico Nana farm, but if you're working on a Nico Nana team, Nico Nana is like the first thing people want to do on Inferno. If you have some Swift Rush gear laying around that has like DPS stats on it, crit chance, crit damage, attack percent, stuff that like you rolled thinking that you wanted to maybe try to get like super fast speed for your support or whatever, you have that stuff laying around, you don't know who to put it on Rin the Unbowed, take her to Nico Nana, and put in some supports in there, and just go. I think my team was like Rin the Unbowed, Dina. Obviously I started with Lily, so you can use Lily. You don't need her because literally I S3, S2, S3, S1, and the boss is dead. It's literally like Dina, Rin. And that's because Rin is built, she gets damage off of having speed. So we want to build her speedy. Nico Nana, the fight, loses damage reduction the faster you are. You do more damage the faster you are basically in that fight as well. So she kind of like is really good in that specific shell farming scenario. So if you're like fairly new or stuck on farming Nico Nana Inferno, look up for that character. Now let's do some PvP stuff. Let's see. Oh my God. RC77. We finally made it.
Wow. Beautiful.
Oh, I knew we all were going to be here. I knew it. All right. RC77, real quick. We've been preaching about RC77 being tier 0 in PvP for the longest time. 128 plus 12 base speed character as an SR is insane. 128 plus 15 is the base speed of, where is she? Of Kloss, right? Kloss is 128 plus 15. Colossus defense break, speed down. We like it. You can use the S2 to push back. This character is 128 plus 12. Does attack break, defense break, and stuns all on S3. So if you're looking for a good opener, RC77. It also is a multi-hit character, so you can also do like a little bit of a crit build and put Revelation in there. So yeah, you want your opener to defense break them, stun them, and then hit them for like 40% of their HP. RC77, there you go. Very strong. And we also see Viper up in here. Like I said, this is for the tank down style. You're not trying to be a cleave player and be like, Viper's rated tier 0 debuff on Pridwin. What are we doing? It's because it's like you have to have Viper in your team if you're trying to tank down in PvP right now. And if you're fighting somebody, you're cleaving them or you're going aggressive on them, and they have a lot of tank down characters and not really a whole lot for you to worry about. They're just like, I'm bringing healers and buffs and you're just trying to do damage. If you ban their Viper, you probably just win because they're no longer getting 30% damage mitigation. But there's some other caveats to that too. Like you can draft some control characters and you ban their Ling Low or whatever and you win that way. But that's why Viper is tier 0 in PvP. Absolutely insane. We talked about it back before the game came out. I said, give it time. Lilith is going to be rated dog shit tier. But once people have the ability to put gear on her in PvP, she will be a monster. And she is a monster. She's able to just put those bombs on, send someone back to the Shadow Realm, do big damage on them. She's built for HP as well. So if you're like a tank down player as well, but you're still looking for someone who can be an initiator for you, she's HP scaling. So you can build her fast with HP scaling, and you have like a nice little crowd control damage dealing unit that is someone that you can draft in your lineup or use in RTA or any sort of Etheria scenario. I think Kazuyo the Reverie definitely belongs up here. She's an insane character, and I see the little dragon icon. Oh, did they add like a little icon? They added a little icon for debuffers who you can use Revelation on, didn't they? You nasty naughty boys. Oh my god, they did. Freya's got one too. But yeah, attack down, pushback, sleep, multi-hit S3, so you can put Revelation on her. What is there more to love? Oh, there is more to love. Her S1 has a 2-turn sleep. Max her out, use her in PvP. She's insane in Doki Doki as well. So it's a 2-tap unit. You get a lot of bang for your buck putting this character and leveling her up onto your account. I would 100% do that. Freya's still insane. And honestly, like as good as these 3 characters are, Doki, Freya, and Fuqiu, Lily being as fast as she is and is still integral to the oops, I hit S2 and cleaved you with my Masia on speed set or Rosa or Yeli on Revelation team, probably belongs in tier -1 or something up here already. As far as sustained characters go, like we talked about, yeah, 0.5. This is all tank down stuff. The game is basically speed. What are we doing down here? You guys moved her down to tier 1. Listen, this character belongs in 0.5 or 0. Because she is just that fast. Mine's gonna be like 325 on Revelation with 100% crit and 3.7k attack, 270 crit damage. She is there because she is allowed to be built fast, and I believe she belongs higher. Because a lot of the ways people try to cleave you is they're like, I have my 340 Lily, and then they try to 25% push up or 30% Sierra push up. They're like 200 speed Masia or 200 speed Rosa, and it's just isn't going to outpush you at like 330 speed, right? It's not going to push them up to 100%. You just go, boop, S3, you're gone. Valerian out there, still with her attack buff set up, the best sustained character, period, in PvP still, because she doubles as a cleave character for a free attack buff as soon as you get to go. And she also works in tank down scenarios and is an anti one-shot character too, which doesn't work for one-shot AoEs. Like, yeah, she doesn't stop Masia when he has 3s and your defense broken. Congratulations. Yes, obviously. But against a lot of other like one and done things that we'll see now and in the future, she's very good. And she also doubles as a character that you can use as a cleaver. So exceptionally strong character. Is there anyone else that I think should be higher? No, not really. I am surprised to see this character up a little bit higher. I can see it, but there's not a real reason for you to hit a Makoto at the start of the battle. So these are the big movers up here. And I do agree with a lot of these, and I am finally happy to see the RC77 get put up in the rightful spot. Who do you think should be higher or lower over here? And honestly, Yeli, along with Lily, I think are probably two of the best characters in the entirety of the game, outside of Shadow Sunny, just dump straight on your need to interact with the dog shit economy that is known as Etheria. And I want to say Etheria end of service restart, but hey, you know what? Hey, you know what? Maybe that's what it is. Etheria end of service restart. Dude, that's what it's going to be in like 3 months unless you change that shit. I'm just saying. They hate him because he spoke the truth. God bless out there, and I'll catch you guys in the next.